Hello and welcome to day one of my training vlog. Today I went for a run this morning at 5.14 miles at an average pace of 8 minutes 58 seconds a mile. My total moving time was was 46 minutes and 6 seconds. Elevation gain was only about 58 feet. And my average heart rate was 153 beats per minute, at least however accurate the Apple Watch can kind of get that. I don't know how accurate it is. I've heard wrist monitors aren't very accurate. All of this information I'm getting off of Strava, off of my phone. So with however accurate all of those things can be, this morning it actually wasn't that warm considering it was pretty humid, 93% humidity. But it was only about 75, feels like 77 as far as the temperature. A little bit of a breeze, which you can always expect here in Oklahoma, that there's almost always going to be a breeze. Humidity was a little high. Temperature was a little lower than what it normally is, because it's been getting pretty hot. But this time of year, it gets relatively hot everywhere. So it wasn't a hard effort for me today. Although I did do some training on Sunday. I went and did a class, and it's basically like a whole body, weightlifting kind of cardio, just kind of a HIIT training, I guess you would call it, kind of a circuit kind of a deal where you just kind of hit everything. You hit legs, back, chest, biceps, triceps, shoulders, abs, all those things. So I've been a little sore from that. I also ran yesterday at a little bit of a tempo day. I wasn't really sure how I was going to run it yesterday. It only ended up being like a little over 3.6 miles with a kind of an easier pace at 8 minute 30 second per mile at the first mile, and then at the second mile I ran at about a 7:30 pace, which was around where I was shooting for that mile, and that last mile in 1.6 miles, I guess it ended up being, was about a 9 minute, a little bit less than a 9 minute pace. So that left me a little sore as well going into the run today. Today I took a newer shoe that I've gotten. Only been on a few runs with it. It's not a new shoe by any means. It's been out for a while. The Nike Turbo 2s. Yeah, Nike Pegasus Turbo 2s. With the ZoomX and the React midsole. I've actually kind of liked this shoe so far. Because the first day I got it, I was feeling pretty fresh because we did go down to the Outlet Mall in Oklahoma City. Got these shoes for only $80, which if you look online, there are some colorways that are still $180. Not, the greatest colorway. It's a pretty conservative colorway, I would say, compared to some of the things that they have. But for $80, it was a great deal. And it's been a great shoe. That ZoomX foam is, it feels really soft whenever you step into this shoe. And really when you're going at slower paces, like the 9 minute per mile or so that I was going today, it's something where I wasn't really trying to run fast. It's kind of just an average pace for me. I say an average pace. I don't really go slower than this. I try to. But I almost feel like I'm fighting myself going slower, which is weird, because I can't really go much faster than this for any longer period of time. So I'm not really, I may be able to push it, in the 7 minutes for a mile, maybe a mile and a half, maybe 2 miles if I'm having a good day, those kind of things. But the first run, I started out really fast. Really fast. I wasn't expecting it with how soft it felt and how fast you can get up and how easily you can pick up the speed in this. I think a lot of that's that midsole foam, because, a lot of people, you'll know now that the Next Percent, Vaporfly and all of those things, and the Alpha Flies and all those things, they're going to have that ZoomX foam that's supposed to be their cushion but bouncy and responsive and whatever, all of those energy return and all that stuff, all those buzzwords that they use. That's supposed to help with that. It's also got the React, which I've had Epic Reacts before, so I kind of knew how the feel was going to be with that. But it's a little bit of a different feel. You can really feel it. It's kind of an effortless, just kind of, just kind of bouncing along. I would not really bouncing per se, but It definitely seems a lot easier to go faster paces in this, but I like that it has that cushion to go the slower paces, because some shoes, whenever I start picking up the pace, like yesterday, whenever I took the Nike Reebok Run Fast 2s, which I got for $34.99, or yeah, $34, $35 the same day I got these at the outlet mall, it's definitely, it's very stiff at slower paces. I mean, it really comes alive once you start hitting that 8, lower than 8 minute per mile pace. Those really come alive with that. But on today's run, I took the Pegasus Turbo 2s. I've been really liking the traction on this shoe so far. Like I said, I've only had a few runs in it. I might have like 10, 15 miles, I don't know, something like that in it. I don't run a lot. Like my normal day is going to be 5 miles. Like every once in a while I'll feel good enough to run a 10-mile run. And that's usually about a long run, and I don't necessarily do that every week like a lot of people, because I don't have a strict training plan. That's kind of what the video's for. Help me kind of keep up with my own training. I should probably start writing this stuff down, keep a journal of it as well. But you know, we'll see how that goes. But I like the traction on this. It seems like it really grabs the road very well. We'll see how that goes as I start wearing down the midsole. I've noticed that I wear down midsoles faster than what I see in a lot of other people's reviews, and I don't know if it's the way my foot lands or if it's just because I weigh over 200 pounds, because I'm not exactly a small guy. I don't feel like I'm huge, but I mean, you know, like 215. I weigh like 210, 215. So that's a lot of weight, a lot of dragging on the shoe, a lot of power. I usually used to lift a lot more weights before I started running a lot. But I'm really liking this shoe. I like how breathable the upper is, just because I sweat a lot. I'm sure it seems like a lot of bigger guys, and maybe a lot of people, especially with the humidity. I mean, I'll leave and come back, and I'm just soaked in sweat. Shirts soaked in sweat. I haven't really been able to find a lot of shirts that don't get covered in sweat, because I haven't really found anything that just wicks it off faster than I can put it out, because I put out a lot of sweat, unfortunately. So I'm usually dripping with sweat by the end of a run, even if it isn't something where, you know, I feel like I ran that fast or anything like that. Like today, you know, the 9 minute per mile isn't necessarily slow. Sometimes I can slow myself down to about 9:30 per mile, but the heart rate is a lot less. I mean, I was pushing 164, those kind of things. I'm not really sure 100% where my heart rate. I've seen some things, and it's just like for my age group, because I am still in my 20s. You know, that's, I mean, pretty normal. I'm not getting 130 beats per minute, but like I see some people in some of their videos and those kind of things. Not really sure how long it takes to start running. I know some of that comes with experience in running and those kind of things, and I'm still fairly new in running this regularly. So that's, you know, part of why I'm making the video, is to keep myself honest on my goals to run every day or most of the days of the week. Life happens. We can't always make it run. It rains, those kind of things. I don't have a lot of gear for that. If it's hot and it's raining, don't really want to wear a jacket. May not run 5 miles if I can't get out. I may not be able to get out that day. If we're busy, we go somewhere. Got something going on. May not be able to get a run in, but I've been trying to get in as many runs as I can. I've actually been putting in some of the most amount of miles. Like, it's July 23rd, and I've put 70 miles in this month. So I'm hoping to hit 100 this month. Maybe get over 100 miles this month. And as far as my overall amount of miles put in, so hopefully I'll be able to do that. We'll see how life goes, because you can't ever predict how life's going to go. Kind of like with these videos, I'm going to try and do this every day, and at least every day that I run, but life happens. I've been actually trying to make these videos for a lot longer, but between life happening, I've been trying to figure out how to edit videos. I've been trying to film runs, which if you've ever tried to run with a GoPro, I don't know how some of these people make it look so easy, but it is not that easy, especially when you're used to swinging your arms and working on that arm swing and those kind of things, and now you're trying to hold that camera steady. It doesn't always work out. So What's probably going to happen is I'm going to have some footage on here, and it's going to be really shaky of me running. And that will probably have already happened because I'll probably have that at the beginning and maybe have some towards the end of the videos. But it was a good run today. Legs they were feeling a little tired, just kind of hurting. Well, I wouldn't say hurting, just kind of an achy kind of thing. But that's probably from, I hadn't been lifting a lot of weights, been doing more running. Gonna have to get back into that because I do have a measure of strength and things that I do need to have to maintain with the rest of my body as well, which I definitely think that everybody should, especially if you're going to be running a lot. You got to have that whole body concept, which I think a lot of people kind of forget to help prevent injury, just your overall health and those kind of things, especially if you're running shorter distance like I usually do. I do want to try and run a half marathon, but seems like all the races and stuff are canceled this year, so it probably won't happen this year. So we'll have to see what the goals are this year. I'm probably gonna lock down and start focusing for my PT test maybe, and see what I can run that 1.5 miles in. May start doing more track workouts, which I probably won't use this shoe for. I probably wouldn't use these for track workouts. Probably tempo days. I'll probably try a 10-mile run in these just because that cushion's so nice. Those Reebok Run Fast 2s, that feels like it's going to be, like I said, at those faster paces, it really lights up, and I think it's going to be a good track day shoe to do those repeats and those kind of things. So, and it did good at a tempo day as well. Just doing that 1 mile, I've never really done much of that before, so we'll see how those things work out. How much I like that. I know there's going to be a lot of people that probably haven't ever done those kind of things either. So if anybody does watch this video, and maybe you've been running for a long time and you do tempo days and you do those kind of things, if you can kind of give me some advice, or anybody else who may be looking at this like, oh, I've never really done those that much before, just kind of where you'd start. I wasn't really sure where to start, so I did a 1 mile warm-up, did a 1 mile at a faster pace, and then it was kind of planned to just be a 1 mile cool down kind of thing, but I run on a road, on country roads. Typically that's where I like to run, so that's, I got a general idea of where the distances are going to put me in those kind of things. But so I ended up running a little bit more than what I expected, which I don't think is a problem, but some people might say it is. So it'll be interesting to see if anybody has any thoughts on that, because I am new to YouTube. I'm new to making these videos. It is vlog number 1, the very first video, so we'll see if anybody has any interesting advice for me or anybody else, just in general. But if you are looking for a good shoe, that's kind of this feels like it's going to be a good all-around, like running some faster days, running some easier days, running some longer distance. I have seen some reviews on this shoe to basically say to that effect. They feel that it's a good shoe like that. I can kind of agree, at least initially. I'll give my thoughts on this shoe if it changes as I run in it over time on the vlog, those kind of things, to let you know if I feel any differently, if I feel like it's dying out or those kind of things. I have had some issues with, like I said, I had the Nike Epic Reacts 2s, and it felt like whenever I hit about 3 or 4 miles in that shoe, it would just kind of deaden out, the foam would. So we'll see, because this has that React, maybe the Turbo, or the, what is it, ZoomX, the ZoomX foam, ZoomX foam, if it kind of keeps it from bottoming out as quickly. It didn't seem to today, but it's still new, so I'll kind of keep you up to date on that. But right now it seems like it's going to be a good shoe, and for $80 it's a good shoe for a good price. You're not really going to be able to find much with what feels like the versatility that this shoe is going to have for that price right now. They even had a different colorway that was like $10 more at the outlet malls here, so definitely check your outlet malls for that. And that's going to be the end of my video today. Thanks for watching all the way to the end of the video. And again, anybody that watches that has any ideas on how they do their tempo runs, or when they started doing them, like kind of where they started with those, if maybe they didn't do a mile, if they did like a half mile warm up, then a half mile, then a half mile, slowed for a half mile, then did another half mile. Like however you did it, like what your recommendations on those kind of things would be, especially for somebody who's right now your longest runs are like 10 miles, may look to do a half mile or a half marathon at some point in time. So that would be very much appreciated. I look forward to hearing from you, and again, thanks for watching the video.